freedom
want
to
to
govern.
send some minority of
wait,
people
wait,
off
wait,
to concentration camps should be helpful.
Hake hasn't said anything in a while. He wants to contribute.
Yeah, we're not a democracy. We're a republic. We're supposed to be anyway. Where
A republic
where the minority
Represented
of sane people are protected from the majority of useful idiots for this stuff, because the China virus is not polio, and there's no comparison between that. And the vaccine has limited help for protecting yourself or others from you. They're spreading the virus just as also, and this thing is, you got what you focus on is what seems important to you. So you're being trained by the media and by your own brainwashing to focus on this as if it's a main issue that should be focused on. And so you think that you're justified in oppressing other people and forcing them to do what you want them to do. And there's no basis in common sense with it.
I just find it very rich that like you guys complain about this one thing. It's also interesting that it's like all Republicans that don't want this stuff. Like, do you not see how you're being played like a fiddle?
Well, that's because
by majority leadership.
All Republicans
you know what
are female-brained, right? They're scared because they're too
like,
emotional
this is just,
to get the needle, right?
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Used like chumps.
Wait. Okay, let Hake respond.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think blacks are disproportionately unvaccinated. So you're pretending that it's
an old
only conservatives.
Point. It's not true. It's not true anymore. It's an old talking point. You got to brush up on.
But it's irrelevant. But this vax that you're pretending is so important is so effective that you have to get a fourth vaccine shot, and pretty soon who knows how many.
It's a booster. They're not. They lose effectiveness after 6 months. I mean,
yeah, that's ridiculous.
You don't have to get 4 in a row if you.
Tetanus wanes after 10 years.
Yeah, tetanus is something that's entirely different. The mRNA vaccines have a specific half-life. No, they have a designed half-life. The mRNA technology has been studied for like 10, 30 years now.
Since the 80s.
And even longer. But like the specific vehicles have been adapted, adjusted, tested, and modified, updated, literally every fucking word you can think of. And it has a specific half-life, meaning it's supposed to like leave your body. The entire thing that you get in the shot is gone from your body within like 6 months.
Why do you always go back to the blacks? Why do you always go back to the blacks every time you're pushed into a corner, Hake?
I'm not pushed into any corner. You guys are the ones who are wanting to force this thing on people when there's no long-term studies.
Every time you're pounded on and pushed all the way into the corner, you start talking about the blacks as if you were like a black person in a previous life and know what black people experience, have any clue what's going on with the black community.
They're constantly in the headlines. They're quite vocal. They're quite entertaining. I know a lot about what's going on.
I want to come back to this thing real quick. Do you actually believe that like anything that the majority should support should be law, or should
yes?
So like an ethnic genocide, like if the majority of the population.
But your examples are so ridiculous.
Dropping nukes.
The vax is ridiculous. The forced vax is ridiculous.
But what you're saying opens up like an unreasonably large number of doors for disaster and oppression.
None of those doors are opening up, bro. But they could. People aren't going to ethnically want to genocide people in America all of a sudden. Okay, like, it's so ridiculous.
The door. Okay, but it's still a possibility in your. If the majority supports.
But doesn't the opposite exist too then? If
yes!
you let the minority rule, then the minority can do it. So what do you have to do? You have to go with the majority because it's the most it's the only moral ground. It is. Even if they do it, then they did it out of you can't do anything. It's the majority. You're going with the majority.
We'll never accomplish anything if we listen to every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Well, I actually have a good faith question here for Hake. I'm just actually really curious how you ratify, like, if you truly believe that freedom within America and your freedom to choose in this situation should be something that is available to you, how do you ratify that with your take on Russia that you had earlier in this panel? Because, like, obviously Russia is an authoritarian regime. Like, how do you justify that in your head?
It's a man's world, and men like Putin throw their weight around, and you can't just expect him to play patty cake, or stuff like this is going to happen. And you guys clamping.
So if in America it was a man that was mandating this vaccine, is that okay? Like, he's just throwing his weight around.
It's a female-minded male who's mandating this. Look at the people on this channel.
Mood to me.
It's
dude.
it's
like,
a
fuck you, dude. You're taking it.
These people are playing. These people are playing mama, thinking that they're protecting people, and they're causing
what
other
is Putin
problems.
doing?
You
Putin's
guys
justification for going into Russia is to protect people. So he's being a woman.
Without naming names,
you guys are.
Why can't they take care of themselves? Why's he got to go in there?
You guys are causing. You guys are causing other problems that you don't realize by doing these onerous mandates and stuff. It's stupid.
Why does Putin have to be their mommy and take care of these people? Why can't they deal with it themselves? Sounds like some bitch assness to me.
What's happening is, you guys are
no, not you guys. Let's talk about Putin. Let's talk about Putin.
We're done with Putin
acting like a bitch. Let's talk about Putin acting like this.
If he's acting that way, then you be man enough to stop him.
Why do I have to stop him? He's acting like
then
a
what?
chump.
Then what do you even care?
My predator drone. I got it.
Because you're justifying what he's doing.
I'm not justifying it. I'm saying
said
that's
he's
reality.
valid in what he's doing. He's acting manly. It doesn't sound like that in your world.
I said it's a man's world and men throw their weight around, and you guys playing patty cake with him, or the establishment that you guys voted for playing patty cake with him didn't work. And it's clear that it didn't work. It's kind of like this guy denying that women are different from men. You guys are denying present reality.
The real problem is that Putin's mother was working and not at the home, and so now he's female-minded and he's emotional, and that's why he's invading Ukraine, right?
I'm not convinced that Putin is unjustified in what he's doing. You guys are acting like
how many people, without naming names, how many people on this panel are female-minded men?
Everybody.
If you had to count.
Yes, I'm definitely female-minded. Wow. I hate men.
Everybody. We all have to overcome it.
Wow.
You would say you are too?
But going back to the serious conversation is, you guys cause more problems by doing these shutdowns. People are dying. People are gaining weight and dying prematurely, but they're not dying of the China virus, at least. So you guys aren't really thinking clearly.
Is that a computer virus?
Well, we were estimated to lose like up to 3 million people if we did not lock down at all. Like the CDC had no faith in us at all. And they're like, yeah, we're probably going to lose like 3 million people. And we didn't. We saved 2 million lives by doing all this stuff. Does that not mean anything?
The CDC also misestimated the count, like even with the lockdowns and like how everything was going. If it continued, the early ones, while Trump was still
the early ones were saying like 3 million.
You trust the CDC?
Of course, I trust the CDC. So do you. You take medicine and you take food. Like you pretend like you don't trust the government. You make 1,000 decisions a day, Hake, that you trust the government with your water, like everything. You know what I mean? The car you drive doesn't explode. Like you trust the government 1,000 times over. Yet this one thing you think you're a hero that you're being cautious on.
People don't predict the future very well. Whether it's about the climate or whether it's about pandemics and all that stuff. And people take opportunities to power grab. Even Biden himself, getting back to the State of the Union speech, he mentioned, but we're ready to, it looks like we're past it, but we're ready to take back control if a new variant comes. So they're not giving up power. It's more power grabs for the government. It's a shame. And you guys are falling for it.
I think there's a pretty good chance that there won't be another serious, that Omicron will be the last serious variant. That's what most experts are saying now, and a lot of experts were predicting from the beginning of this variant, is that because it's so transmissible and so non-lethal, that it will just provide blanket immunity to a lot of people.
We have four other coronaviruses we live with. This will be number 5 that just causes like cold-like symptoms eventually.
The other thing is, like, the people are doing it to themselves. It's not just the government. We have people who have an oppressive mindset. I call them like commie capitalist corporations that are willing to clamp down on the people more than even the government wants. And, individuals like IRI and Mindwaves.
What is commie capitalism? Sorry.
Commie capitalism is immoral capitalism, where you try to you support all the LGBT agenda, you support the feminist agenda, BLM, you get in bed with the government and all that stuff. Commie capitalism.
Amazing.
Okay. That
So
sounds like
would you say
capitalism.
let's say that a nation had all of your economic values, like all of them, just like your perfect little nation. I gave it to you, right, on an NFT, right? But there's one thing, and they have gay marriage. Would that still be considered commie capitalism?
Yeah, because you can't really allow you can't call wrong as right and expect the evil not to grow. Evil grows. We have to deal with evil in ourselves and in our lives. Otherwise, it grows. You notice that we often tend to get worse in our vices and more corrupt and perverse in our vices if we don't deal with them, but we indulge them. It tends to you start to cross more and more lines. So yeah, you can't really have a bitter root.
Don't you feel like you're losing this battle, Hake? Like,
what battle?
Against
you're not winning. Like, nobody's like, more people are like supporting gay rights, and like the LGBT community is growing, and like you're just losing, man. Like, you're taking L after L. Like, why don't you just like be a little more open minded and get on board, mate? Like, do you have any gay friends? Like, what's going on with you, buddy?
I'm fine with the world being evil. The world is evil. Most people are going to end up in hell, and most of us are going to be wrong.
Are you okay with like most of
okay
humanity burning in hell? Like, isn't that kind of weird? Like,
it's not up to me.
Why would you want to accept that?
It's not up to me. That's why I just try to tell the truth, try to look at myself, and engage with you guys.
Amazing.
So,
well,
yeah.
If you're happy, I guess.
Amazing.
Okay, so let's wrap it up.